What's going on, everybody? Frankie here from Mirth Films, and today we're talking about the Sony FE 28-70 f3.5-5.6 for Sony full-frame cameras. Today I want to talk about this lens because I personally like using this lens as a walk-around lens when I don't want to use my more expensive glass. And also, this is a great beginner's lens that you might have already gotten with your Sony camera. If you're learning to shoot photography, you don't want to spend a lot of money on glass because you already bought a decent camera body, a full frame camera body, then you're going to be able to get away with the 28-70. And that's because during the day, you're going to get great results because the light's going to be great. But for beginners, don't invest in glass unless you know exactly what you want. And 28-70 millimeters is a great focal length range where you can learn a lot of things when it comes to photography. And then you can figure out, do I need more zoom? Do I need to go wider? But this lens will help you determine that. As a professional, I even like carrying this lens around when I'm not doing paid shoots or I'm not doing shoots where there's a lot on the line. If I'm just walking around, hanging out with friends, traveling on vacation, this lens is all that I need. Lenses can be expensive, especially when you start buying lenses with a fixed aperture range like the 24-70 f2.8. But something like this, 28-70, it's light. It's easy to travel with. It gets the job done, and that's what the most important thing is. And regardless, you're still going to get way better images out of your camera with this lens than any iPhone or Android phone. This is also an inexpensive lens as well. So if you did not get a lens with your camera body when you originally bought your Sony a7 III, a7 IV, whatever it may be, you can buy this used for around $200. And if you don't want to buy it used, you can get it for around $500. Even if you're shooting on an APS-C Sony camera like the a6600, you can get good results with this as well because you'll actually get more reach since you're on a smaller sensor. Just a quick tip, if you feel like you're not getting the full focal length you need out of this lens and you need to maybe reach a little farther, Sony does have the built-in APS-C mode into their full frame body. So throw that into that crop sensor mode. I have it toggled on my trash can button so I can easily get to it. You are going to get some quality loss because you are dumbing down that full frame sensor. After testing the lens, I do have to mention just a couple things to warn you if you are buying this and you're hoping to look for certain features. First off, there's no dedicated autofocus manual focus switch on the lens. So you're going to have to change focus within your camera settings, which is not the biggest pain in the butt, but you don't have that dedicated switch, which you will find on other Sony lenses. Another thing is that this does not have the best build quality. It's pretty much made out of plastic, which that's what you're gonna get when you get a kit lens, whether you're getting a Canon, Sony, Nikon, whatever it may be. Another negative thing about this lens is that it is not great in low light scenarios. I was shooting this lens at ISO 12,800 on my 33 megapixel Sony a7 IV, and I was getting a lot of noise and I wasn't getting the sharpest results. So combine those two, you might have a bad looking image. If you are using this and you are using it at night and you have a situation where you can break your flash out, think about doing that. For me, concert photography is a huge part of my life. So when I'm shooting venues, I try to be at the lowest ISO I possibly can, but let's say the band's moving around a lot and you got to crank that shutter speed to 1/500th and not stay at a lower shutter speed like 1/100th. You're just going to get darker images and you're going to have to introduce ISO, that noise that makes that photo look a little bit brighter. And if you can't afford that more expensive 24-70 that Sony offers, also think about investing in a cheap prime lens like the Sony 50mm f1.8, because while you're at a fixed length, you're going to be able to drop down to f1.8, allowing more light to come into your camera. Another thing is you're not going to get that deep background blur. Now, the real question is, can you get good results using this 28-70 kit lens provided by Sony? Yes, absolutely. I don't think you're going to get horrible shots using this. In fact, I'm very happy with the shots that I was able to capture, which I showed in this video. But it does have its limitations, and that's why it is a kit lens. But it's going to help you as a beginner to figure out what you actually need for your photography career. Whether, again, if you need to go wider, if you need to be more on the telephoto side and get a 70-200, this lens will help you determine that. You got to start somewhere. And if this is the only lens I had, I still feel like I could get good shots and the shots that I needed and the shots that I'm looking for. If you are using this for video, the autofocus capabilities with this lens are great. I was never in a real situation where the eye autofocus did not work with this lens when I was shooting video. If you are using this on a gimbal, you are also going to get really good results because it is a light lens. So after reviewing everything we talked about, the Sony FE 28-70 is great for two types of people: the beginner and a professional who doesn't want to carry around their more expensive gear when they're doing non-professional photography. My name is Frankie, and if there's anything that we did not discuss regarding the Sony FE 28-70mm f3.5 to 5.6, please let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching this video, and if you liked it, please hit subscribe. It helps us and it helps you because we get to continue making these videos. So hope you have a good day. Enjoy shooting. Peace.